Welcome everyone to the Talbot Toast 2026. It's a ritual we've been carrying on for some time, celebrating the arrival of Colonel Talbot. I think at first his close friends came out and toasted his grave on the anniversary of his death, but that's February 5th, and I think we'd have a much better time getting a crowd tonight. First I'd like to, after our toast, we're going to proceed over to St. Peter's Church for our presentation tonight. And our presentation and our toaster will be the same person tonight, Laurence Grant. Laurence has been involved in local history here and in Ontario for a long time. He's portraying Francois Baby today, or dressed as.
Not that long.
For a very short time, and involved in the restoration of several properties, including the general store in Iona, which is now his bed and breakfast. So I will turn it over to Laurence for the toast, and I'll thank you all for coming out tonight.
We need to get the alcohol.
Oh, yes. First of all, if you could go and get yourself something to toast with.
Well, in Peter's introduction to me, he mentioned Francois Baby, and that's a reproduction costume that I'm wearing tonight. I used to work at the Francois Baby house in Windsor, which was built beginning in 1812, and so it was something that was vitally connected to the War of 1812. And Isaac Brock, when he attacked Detroit, and which led to the surrender of Detroit, he used Baby's house, which was under construction, to hide some of his armaments, the cannons, and so he was able to surprise the Americans and bombard the fort there. I usually wore this costume for an event called the Surrender of Detroit, which happened, I think it was August the 12th, and 1812. And it was, as you can imagine, an extremely hot costume to wear. I had the cloak made, and I was very proud of the cloak, but I never wore it during the surrender of Detroit because Windsor is a hot and humid city. And it was impossible to wear even the rest of it. The jacket was very quickly taken off because it was just unbearable. And some of the British soldiers, I just don't know how they wore their outfits. And so I'm honored to have been asked to do this, and I have to remove my historic glasses because I can't see very well out of them. I guess I need to pass them to you because I have no pockets. I think I asked the person who made this costume for me to put a pocket somewhere, but that was an oversight. Well, I have not one, but 4 toasts altogether. I just started liking toasts a whole lot, and they're military toasts. And so I'll read through them, and some of them you're allowed to laugh because some of them are rather funny. Put your trust in God, boys, and keep your powder dry. I'm sure you've heard something like that before. I give you muscle of steel, nerves of iron, tongues of silver, I don't know what that's about, hearts of gold, but especially, you don't understand, necks of leather. If anybody has a speculation on how advantageous a neck of leather would be, I'd be glad to hear it. In matters not of the wine glass is half, it matters not if the wine glass is half empty or half full, but only that capacity remains. So if anybody ever accuses you of being a half-empty wine glass or having that kind of attitude, you have a response. If whiskey were water and I were a duck, I would swim underwater and never come up. But whiskey isn't water and I'm not a duck, so hand me the bottle and shut the fuddle-duddle up. I had to borrow that from Pierre Trudeau. You might remember his famous phrase in the House of Commons. So I will switch back for reasons of photography.
All right.
I was recalling to my friend Andrew tonight when I showed up on stage at Central Elgin Collegiate. I was in a play and played the role of Lucius Septimus, and I walked out on stage with my 1960s glasses on. And there was a group of students at the opposite end waving at me, and I had no idea what it was all about. So I get to... Peter was saying that if that's the whiskey,
That is the whiskey.
Do I get to drink some? Or
You can have he's not much of a sharer.
That over successive years, gradually the stone has been cleaned by the whiskey. So I'm going to... Oh, I guess I can't move
Can't
very
go too far.
No, I can't. If we have to move in tandem, well,
That's right.
I'll clean this spot.
That's fine. The toast.
Oh, I didn't save very much for myself. A drop.
There. All right, a toast to Talbot. So, thank you all. It's a very brief ceremony. We will be setting, cleaning up a little bit. If you could assist at all, that'd be great. But we are going to then be heading over to St. Peter's Church and hear a bit more from Laurence. So, thank you all for.
Door, not the front door.
And go in the back door. Okay.
Outside.